Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Powers, and I work for Indiana Senior Medicare Patrol. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today about SMP. Many of you already know that SHIP and SMP have a strong partnership for Medicare counseling and fighting Medicare fraud. At a national level, our two programs are connected in many ways, including through our training, outreach, and branding. Within Indiana, SMP is so grateful to have a long partnership with the Indiana SHIP program and with many SHIP volunteer supervisors and counselors all around the state. I especially want to thank Cheryl and Ben for allowing me to record this video to tell you more about SMP, tell you about our current fraud trends, and how you can let others know about Senior Medicare Patrol. Senior Medicare Patrol's mission is to empower and assist Medicare beneficiaries, their family members, and caregivers on how to prevent, detect, and report healthcare fraud, errors, and abuse through outreach, counseling, and education. Now in Indiana, we operate under the Indiana Association of Area Agencies on Aging, or the I4A. Indiana SMP, we have a network of volunteer host organizations across the state who help us promote Medicare fraud prevention. Most VHOs are the Area Agencies on Aging. You might know them as the Indiana AAAs. Keep in mind, we are not a part of Medicare and we are not an enforcement agency. We mostly educate, but we can research complaints and report issues to the proper authorities or agencies. What is Medicare fraud and abuse? Well, fraud occurs when someone improperly bills Medicare on purpose, and abuse is when someone provides equipment or services that aren't medically necessary or that don't meet professional standards. Here are some examples on your screen of different kinds of fraud and abuse. The first one is billing for services, supplies, or equipment that were not provided. This is probably the biggest type of complaint that we're receiving right now with Indiana Senior Medicare Patrol. Billing for excessive medical supplies, obtaining or giving a Medicare number in exchange for free services. Improper coding to obtain a higher payment. We call this upcoding. Unneeded or excessive x-rays and lab tests, claims for services that aren't medically necessary, and finally, using another person's Medicare number or letting someone else use your number to obtain medical care, supplies, or equipment. In addition to fraud and abuse, it's also important to consider billing errors. Medical billing can be pretty complicated. Most providers are honest, so when warranted, we will research a complaint to first determine if it's simply a billing mistake. Improper billing in Medicare costs all of us in many different ways. First of all, there is the financial cost to us as taxpayers. The federal government estimates that Medicare fraud costs anywhere between $60 and $90 billion a year. That $60 to $90 billion a year is coming out of the Medicare Trust Fund unnecessarily. So we as taxpayers are very concerned about that. In addition, Medicare fraud can risk the health and welfare of Medicare beneficiaries, which are our loved ones. It can impact someone's medical record. Just a couple weeks ago, we had a complaint from a woman who said she saw a claim on her husband's Medicare summary notice for crutches, and he's never had crutches. So if he breaks his leg down the road and needs those crutches, Medicare will show that he already has the crutches. So that's why it's very important that we step in and get that record corrected and get that claim reversed. In addition, Medicare fraud can cost us all in higher premiums. It can be less money for needed benefits, and it can certainly affect our quality of care. With Senior Medicare Patrol, our message is very simple for Medicare beneficiaries. It is protect, detect, and report. First of all, we tell Medicare beneficiaries to protect their Medicare number. They should treat it like a credit card and not give their number out to just anyone. Also, we recommend that people don't answer their phone if they don't know who it is who's calling. Secondly, we want people to be on the lookout for any kinds of Medicare billing issues. They should watch their Medicare summary notices or private insurance statements for anything that doesn't look right. And finally, if they see something that doesn't look right, they should report it to us at Senior Medicare Patrol. What kinds of complaints are we seeing right now at Indiana Senior Medicare Patrol? Well, there are three major ones, and two of those three involve durable medical equipment, back braces and urinary catheters, and the third kind that we're seeing is genetic testing. Now, with the brace scam, oftentimes the beneficiary will receive a call from a scammer who claims to be with Medicare and offers a free back brace. While they're at it, the scammer will throw in wrist and knee braces too. We say the beneficiary is getting covered in braces from head to toe. With the genetic testing scam, the caller also usually claims to be with Medicare. The scammer might say that Medicare is issuing a new Medicare number, and in order to receive your new number, you have to submit to a DNA test. And the beneficiary then receives a DNA test kit in the mail, and Medicare is billed. With the third scam of the intermittent urinary catheters, the scammers don't even bother calling the beneficiary. They just simply get a hold of the beneficiary's Medicare number in some way and they bill for the catheters. And you can see here is a sample on the screen of a Medicare summary notice showing the billings for these catheters. In this instance, the beneficiary, a claim was filed on behalf of this beneficiary for the catheters for every month between May and October of 2025 to the tune of $1,800 a month. Now, in this instance, Medicare did not pay the claim, but this illustrates why it's so important for everyone to look at their Medicare summary notices. Recently, our Indiana Senior Medicare Patrol volunteer host organizations asked us for suggestions on how to bring up the subject of Medicare fraud when they're speaking with a Medicare beneficiary. Some making the request were SHIP counselors, so we developed a SHIP script that SHIP counselors or anyone can use to start a conversation about Medicare fraud and how to prevent it. Talking to someone about Medicare fraud prevention can be as simple as saying, hey, did you know that Medicare fraud costs us billions of dollars every year? Please protect your Medicare number and only give it to trusted providers. Remember that Medicare will never call you to do business or offer you free items. We've provided copies of this SHIP script card to the SHIP office, and you may also contact us directly at Indiana Senior Medicare Patrol to get a copy for yourself. If you wish to contact us with Indiana Senior Medicare Patrol, you can do so by calling 317-205-9201. That's 317-205-9201, or by emailing our SMP director, Nancy Moore, at nmoore@iaaa.org, or by emailing me, Lori Powers, at lpowers@iaaa.org. We're always very happy to answer any questions you might have or to take a potential fraud referral complaint. And we thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for all you do for the Indiana Medicare beneficiaries.